Now back to the crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
All right, welcome back to the crossover. Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. Subscribe and follow us on our social media accounts on both our YouTube as well as our Facebook pages at the crossover 1060. Once again, that's at the crossover 1060, youtube.com/at the crossover 1060 and facebook.com/at the crossover 1060. And you can also call into our listener line if you like, 602-260-1060. Once again, that's 602-260-1060. All right, Marlon, we talked about the Diamondbacks, them sweeping the Dodgers, but they got some stuff ahead of them. Obviously, the job's not done.
No.
They have this upcoming series, this NLCS championship series against Philadelphia Phillies, and if they had their hands, full with the Dodgers, they're certainly going to have it with this Philadelphia Phillies team. They've been playing really, really well.
Kind of similar.
I think so.
That's another team that most people didn't think would be here.
Right.
Well,
I don't know about that. Remember, they made it all the way to the World Series last season.
Yeah, but
before losing to the Houston Astros in 6 games, and
I say that because Atlanta.
Yeah, I think people thought Atlanta Dodgers.
That's why I say that.
I get your point. Yeah, but they are the defending NL champions. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah. So I think whereas most people did anticipate that it would be the Dodgers and the Dodgers Braves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think people are nearly as shocked that the Philadelphia Phillies are back in the NLCS as much as the Diamondbacks.
Well, they did face Strider their last game, and they beat him up. So it is kind of a surprise, that they did what they did to get here because they had to beat a very good pitcher, obviously, and and plus they've got a couple superstars too. Everybody knows about Harper,
right?
Yeah, everybody knows about that dude. And
Bryce, he's a stud.
And he's playing like Bryce Harper should be playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
for the exception of that mistake that he made at the end of game 2, which stretched it to 4 games. Otherwise, you're looking at
that's Bryce being Bryce.
Sweep.
Bryce does that too. He's good for one of those every few games as well. He's coming in there with that pretty hair. That everybody
and the headband and the headband, the headscarf, whatever the hell that thing is.
The whole squad wears. Castelletto's wears his.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is a monster. He beat up single-handedly beat up Atlanta in the game a couple nights ago. So they're facing just the pitching as well with the Phillies, and it should be a fun series to watch. Like I said, the Diamondbacks are going in there with, hey, you know what? They said that against Milwaukee. They said that against the Dodgers, of course. I mean,
right.
And they just Vegas probably lost money on the Diamondbacks right now.
Vegas lost a lot of money on that series.
They have to be losing money.
And I'm sure they probably lost a little bit of money on the Philadelphia Phillies Braves series. Not nearly as much as they lost on the Dodgers series. But looking at this matchup, and recently the Athletic they put out they put this out as far as like the tell of the tape, looking at the matchup between the Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now they're looking at like Corbin Carroll. They're looking at Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Christian Walker. They said that they may lack name recognition of a Bryce Harper, who we just talked about. But Trey Hunter, Nick Castellanos, and the Phillies might have a little bit. Yeah, they have a little bit more name recognition. But the Diamondbacks are kind of like you mentioned. They're in a what the hell kind of mode. They're playing with house money. It's like they got a chip. They got a whole stack of chips given by the hotel.
Everybody about to know Corbin is
exactly.
He's about to be rookie
as he
of the
gets
year.
ready for to get crowned as rookie of the year award. Absolutely, he's going to get rookie of the year. I was a little bit. I was uncertain.
I know. I remember we talked about it
because of the slide that they went on. But he absolutely all but solidified that thing. You might as well just go ahead and etch his name in it.
Right. Okay.
That award. Whatever that statue is, go ahead and they've already etched it out.
Okay.
Giving it to him. But it's going to be a very interesting lineup. When I look at Arizona's lineup, they've really come on as of late. Like I said, they've struggled. At times they've struggled mightily this year, but Christian Walker's been sensational in these playoffs.
Yep.
You're looking at Marte this October. He's batting .318. During that slide, he completely fell off. He was really, really struggling. The challenge for the Diamondbacks is going to be finding enough pitching to hang with the Phillies. Now, normally this is what they say. This is what the Atlantic says. However, you're looking at a staff that they're primarily only going to be using 3 pitchers.
Right, exactly.
So you really only have to really worry about Zach Gallen. You don't really have to worry about him that much.
Nope.
Merrill Kelly, maybe a little bit more. The Brandon Paft is probably going to be the one guy that you're going to have to be most concerned with. But you're looking at this series. It's going to be a best of 7. So the first team to 4 wins.
Right.
You're looking at a series where you could have Zach Gallen possibly pitch 3 times. Could be on the mound 3 times.
Good luck with that.
At least twice. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
And it's going to be a battle of the Zacks.
Yeah.
Because they got a Zach of their own.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they got a Zach of their own. They got Zach Wheeler. We got Zach Gallen.
Wheeler can wheel. He can wheel and deal.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's kind of overlooked too, or underlooked, or whatever. For the Diamondbacks, their defense has been really good too.
They've been phenomenal.
They've been really good on the defensive side. So I think with the pitchers going in there knowing that, hey, if I just put the ball in play, the guys behind me are going to make all the plays.
Right. In the outfield, they're not going to make mistakes.
Nope. Yeah. So I think their defense has been completely underlooked at the Diamondbacks, which is why they're here. I mean, they're at where they're at.
Right.
Because of that too.
But it's primarily going to be Zach Gallen for Zach Wheeler, and it's going to be Merrill Kelly versus Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
Those are going to be your big matchups. Probably your first 4 games of the series, or first couple games of the series, and then Paft is going to be integral for the Arizona Diamondbacks. If they can jump out and steal a game or 2 in Philadelphia, they can really put Phillies on their heels.
That's what they might have to do. Is they got to get one in Philly. You know, I think. I mean, obviously, it's not a playoff series until you win one on the road. But I think it's for this Diamondback team, they might have to. I mean, positively win one in Philly.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah,
they have to win at least one. I mean, you know, otherwise the Philadelphia, they got the home field advantage.
Yeah,
so they have to win one. You want them to win the first 2.
Sure.
They don't want to have to. They don't want to go down 0-2 and then win the next 2, or be depend on that team, depend on the pitching staff and the hitting to go ahead and try to pull 2 out here in Phoenix, down in Chase Field, and then have to go back and try to steal a game, in Philly. But actually how it works is I think the series is going to be the first 2, last that I checked, it's the first 2 games are going to be played in Philly, and then the next 3 are played in Arizona.
2-3-2, okay.
Yeah, it's a 2-3-2 setup.
Interesting.
I kind of don't like that personally. I think that's why it's probably pivotal for the Diamondbacks to win 1, if not 2, and then really if they can win 2 in Philadelphia, the first 2, they can really put Philadelphia on their heels and force them to have to win 3.
Yeah, I will say this too about Philadelphia, and watching a lot of playoff baseball, probably the most watched for me personally. Watching the Houston series, Minnesota, and all that.
Right.
I've actually watched a lot of playoff baseball, and this most amazing thing to me, and it's why it might be difficult for the D-backs, is that Philly crowd, that stadium.
It's going to be raucous.
It's the most amazing thing I've seen, like in all of sports. Like that Philly crowd for the baseball is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It probably rivals the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I think it's even better than the Eagles. It's the craziest. That crowd. During the playoffs for Philly is the craziest. It's the most electric. It's just wild that I've seen. It's amazing.
I don't know if you've probably never been to that area, Philadelphia.
No,
but if I've been there a few times since I used to live in New Jersey. And I would drive down. I drive through Philadelphia a few times, and as you're driving through, there's a bridge. You go over the Delaware River, I believe it is. You drive over the Delaware River, whether you're headed south or you're headed north or whatever. But you're driving over it or you're approaching it, and you can see off to the side, to your right side or your left. You can see like the stadium. You can see the stadium where the Eagles play, and it's like literally right next. It's really cool. I like the way that they did it because they have the Eagles stadium. They have Lincoln Field?
Yeah, the Link. Yep.
They have the Lincoln Field, and then they have the baseball stadium just behind the football stadium. Like literally same parking lot, same area, and then like the basketball arena.
Oh, so they're all the same. Okay.
They're all like in the exact same area, which is really, really, really cool. And I'm sure it's probably convenient if you're, for the Philadelphia.
Speaking of the Eagles, I don't know if you saw the celebration of the Phillies in the locker room when they won, but Fletcher Cox was in there.
Was he?
He was in the Phillies. He was in the Phillies locker room, and he was jumping up and down,
going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Joel Embiid in the stand.
Yeah, Embiid was there.
He had that. He looked like he was just focused. Like he was in Game 7 of NBA Eastern Conference Finals.
He's looking like that because Harden is still on the team.
Yeah,
that's why he's looking like that.
They got to figure out how to get him the hell out of there and get him to the Clippers because he has him and his was it the president of operations?
Yeah, dude.
It's horrible. As bad as it is for them, the Philadelphia Phillies are they're flying sky high.
Yep.
Yeah,
they are.
And I think looking back at the Diamondbacks, the biggest surprise this postseason has probably been their bullpen.
Yes.
Their bullpen has been absolutely exceptional, and they're going to have to continue to be exceptional against the Philly teams if they want to try to advance the World Series.
Well, you figure you don't have. I mean, on paper, you really don't have a lot to worry about with Gallen on the mound. You know what I'm saying?
He can probably give you 5 and maybe 3/4.
Maybe more. He probably get you 6. Yeah, easily.
And they'll probably depend on him and possibly Merrill Kelly.
Kelly's got to go 6. Yeah, he's got to go 6 too, for sure. But yeah, you're right. That was key, has been key for the Diamondbacks. Is their bullpen has come in and done their jobs. So yeah, they're definitely going to have to keep that up.
And if they can touch up the Philadelphia, the starting pitchers, do what they did with the Dodgers and the Brewers, and who knows?
Phillies in the NLCS and the Eagles undefeated. Phillies luck they chilling.
They are chilling. They're celebrating right now. All right, coming up next, while the Cardinals get ready to face the Los Angeles Rams this weekend in LA, they're also dealing with some PR battles at home. We'll discuss it next, right here on the Crossover, KDUS 1060.